Today's program is brought to you by the Texas Deer Association. Let me tell you about John Hueske. He's a big deer breeder, clearly. I mean, he's one of the biggest deer breeders. Well, he is the biggest deer breeder I've ever seen. But he's also, I think his wife Tracy is probably the biggest cat breeder I've ever known, because there's cats everywhere. The one good thing about it is there are no mice. There's no doubt. I mean, I can look at him right now and know that has got to be Voodoo's magic.
That is Voodoo's magic.
Holy smokes, look at that deer. I mean, I look at the ads that you have. I mean, I see Big Stitch in the ad, and I see Voodoo's magic in the ad. And Big Stitch looks just the same, it's just bigger with more character. And yes, Voodoo's magic just takes your breath away. I mean, look at that. I mean, the deer's got a frame that just doesn't quit.
Oh, it's massive. Straight up typical, no downtines. And just a frame that is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So how old is he now?
He's 3.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, last year he was a beautiful 2-year-old.
Yes, sir.
And we got, y'all provided some video to us, because we didn't get any video when we were here. So you provided video of him at 2, and so I'm looking at this. Was really the first time I actually laid my eyes on him. And all I can say is just, wow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the deer farmers are looking for what they call the wow factor, okay? And the wow factor is what you get when you look right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you drive up to the pen and Voodoo's magic comes up to you looking for a treat, you literally, your heart misses a beat. Yeah. He's just so beautiful.
He is absolutely beautiful. Okay, score-wise, John, what did he score last year?
Last year he scored 198 7/8 typical, 205 gross.
Okay, and there's a lot of people that, well, there's a lot of deer that'll score better than that. Okay,
absolutely.
But when you take a look at him, you say he is a typical deer.
That's exactly right.
Okay, he doesn't have any trash and flyers and junk and all that. That's all typical score. And he's beautiful, but he is so much bigger than that this year that, I mean, I don't even want to guess what he scored this year. And really and truly, who cares? Because he's got the wow factor.
That's the thing, Keith. That deer literally blew up this year. He exceeded my expectations 3-folds. He literally just absolutely blew up.
And looking at him, he's gentle, isn't he?
He is a gentle giant. My wife comes out here and feeds him grapes out of her hand. He's just the best natured deer you want to be around. He don't get excited, and he's just a joy. We're so happy to have Voodoo's magic, and we're so excited about him. I'm almost speechless.
Yes, Tracy will come out here and he will eat out of her hands. And no, that deer will never be hunted. We don't deer hunt in deer pens.
That's exactly right.
That deer exists to spread those genetics to other places that need to have good genetics. And so for people to say that we're hunting these deer in the pens, that's horse hockey. That doesn't happen.
No way.
Voodoo's magic will not get hunted. Big Stitch will not get hunted. These deer are breeder deer and they will not get hunted. So get that out of your head. Okay, well, folks, if y'all want more information about Voodoo's magic, Big Stitch, any of the operation out here at all, go to T3Whitetails.com and check it out. I mean, John is an easy guy to work with, and he would love to hear from you. If you have any questions about deer farming and you live in Texas, I want to encourage you to contact your friends at the Texas Deer Association. There's a link from our website right over to theirs. And if you want to have an opportunity at winning a deer farm, that's right, we're setting somebody up with a deer farm. All you need to do is go to winadeerfarm.com. Now it's time for the Beam Fence Minute.
As a fence contractor, one of the first questions people ask me is how much is it going to cost to build a fence? Well, building a fence is like buying a pickup truck. There's a lot of variables involved. The factor in determining the cost of building a fence is what do you have to do to clear the fence line. If you've got to go through a lot of hardwood, remove a lot of trees, do a lot of excavating, this is definitely going to add to the cost of your fence. If you're going through open fields and meadows, it's not going to be nearly as expensive to prepare your fence line as it would be if you're going through hardwoods and swamps. Another issue to determine the cost of your fence is state regulations. Each state has their own regulations. Michigan, for instance, require a 10-foot high fence, which is going to add considerably to the cost of your fence. I'm Mark Beam from Beam Fence Company. For more information about our company and building fence, visit us at beamfence.com.
Well, there's no doubt who that is. Good Lord, John. Look how big he is. He looks beautiful this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so folks, what you're looking at, that's Big Stitch right there. That's a deer that last year I needed to almost go to my cardiologist after taking a look at him in person. That deer, I remember when you walked into the Nadifa show with him a couple of 3 years ago now, every single person walked following you when you had his rack. And
Absolutely.
And I don't know how old he was then, but how old is he now?
He's 6.
Good gosh almighty. I'm looking at that and going, okay, well, you can tell from the frame, he's still got that beautiful frame. And but this year, I mean, he's got lots more drops on him. What do you think that's from?
I think it's just age.
Yep.
You know, I think deer, as they get some age on them, a lot of times they'll start putting on those drops and start getting a little bit more non-typical, not non-typical if you want to call it that.
You know, I'm looking at the left side of him right there, and I mean, it's like the first drop. I mean, it's long like a big long G2. It's just going down, but his beams are good. How wide do you think he is this year?
I think Big Stitch will probably be 30 inches, 32 inches.
And folks, let me tell you, as I travel around the country, and I do a lot of deer farms up north. I mean, we go to Ohio and Pennsylvania, and a lot of these farmers up north are looking to bring the Texas influence into their herd. And the reason for that is they've seen that the Texas deer, the Texas look, is what they want to really get back up in that in their herd. And there's not a lot of deer with that look right there. When you look at him, matter of fact, he is so beautiful that, I mean, it is no wonder everybody wants that look. And so, as far as semen goes, I know you've collected him, and you've got semen available for him, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about pedigree. All right. So I know that your deer, when you sell deer off your farm, they're all in the registry, and you can show somebody what everybody is out of. Tell me, as far as Big Stitch goes, tell me about his pedigree.
Big Stitch is Stitches over a 7C's Big Boy daughter. 7C's Big Boy goes back to Lee Wheeler's bub line. And that bub line has been known to put lots of big frame on deer.
And looking at the Nadar pedigree, you can see how it goes back like that. Now, I will tell you this. There are people that in the business that get caught up in marketing of a deer, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I look at it and think, there's not many deer, in my opinion, that are more beautiful than that deer right there. I looked at him a couple of years ago, and I thought, you know what, if I could just grow a deer 2/3 his size, I'd be thankful, because he's got everything that I want. But as far as marketability goes, I want to caution you, if you're a deer breeder, or you're going to be a deer breeder, don't get hung up about the people that are just marketing a certain line. I mean,
right.
They spend a lot of money making some deer famous, where in reality, there's some deer out there that if you took a look, and you look at like Big Stitch right here, that deer right there, he's getting it done for people all over the place. It's just John isn't putting the marketing dollars behind him like other people are. And so that's what we're doing. I want to draw your attention to that. I mean, Big Stitch is a phenomenal producer. He's got the good blood to go with it. Just look at him. I mean, he's beautiful.
Absolutely. He's his offspring. We have several 2-year-olds here, and he's putting on that frame, and every one of his 2-year-olds is pretty much a straight up typical. Okay,
now as far as in Texas goes, if somebody anywhere in the country, if somebody wants to buy semen, they can go to T3Whitetails.com,
yes,
find out your phone number, get more information. It's a great website. I mean, if you go to take a look, you can find out a lot of good information. Let me ask you this: if somebody's got a doe, they don't want to inseminate, artificially inseminate, they want to bring it over here to be live covered by Big Stitch, would you do that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We had probably 15 what we call boarders here last year. They brought him here in October, and we put him in the pen with him, and he got it done.
Well, and see, that's just another good thing. So if you're in Texas and you don't want to artificially inseminate, you want the real deal. The way to get the real deal is get a hold of John. And again, your website information, your website address is what?
Is T3Whitetails.com.
When asked which buck at T3 Whitetails impresses me the most, it's hard to say. Big Stitch is beautiful, Nightshade as a 2-year-old is a standout, and Voodoo's magic has it all. Since the filming of today's episode at T3 Whitetails, John has sold his entire herd of deer. If you're interested in finding out more information though on the premier bucks, both Big Stitch and Voodoo's magic, that were featured on today's show, you can contact Rockstar Whitetails at 817-307-5424. If you have any questions or comments about the show, log on to my Facebook page and let me hear from you. I'm Keith Warren, and thanks for watching Deer and Wildlife Stories. What you're about to see is graphic in nature, so viewer discretion is advised. Last August, many of Texas's deer farmers were forced to kill hundreds of perfectly healthy deer in order to test them for chronic wasting disease. To date, approximately 600 deer have been killed, and the killing isn't over. What's worse is that out of all the deer that were killed, not a single one of them tested positive for chronic wasting disease. I don't know about you, but to me there's just something wrong with the picture when you start killing perfectly healthy deer to test them to make sure they're not sick with chronic wasting disease. Now, CWD has been around for over 50 years, and I'm a believer that CWD, it needs to be managed from science-based management rather than from a political agenda. And I think that we ought to learn from states that have been battling CWD for more than 50 years, and they themselves say that there's nothing they can do to manage it. What they need to do is just monitor it. So again, I think that we ought to base our CWD stuff all on science and not on a political agenda. If you'd like to find out more about chronic wasting disease, let me encourage you to go to the website cwdmyths.com.